I move that the Financial Service Providers Pre-Implementation Adjustments Bill be now read a second time. I'd like to begin by thanking the members of the Commerce Select Committee for their thorough examination of this bill, including extensive consultation with stakeholders. I am confident that the proposed amendments of the Financial Advisors Act and the Financial Service Providers Act will go a long way to simplifying compliance for business, particularly in lower risk areas, while providing high levels of protection for retail, consumers and indeed investors. This is vital if we wish to give effect to the Government's goal of increasing confidence in New Zealand's financial markets. The bill contains many technical amendments to the Financial Advisors Act and the Financial Service Providers Registration and Dispute Resolution Act, which will provide greater clarity for both investors and the industry as a whole. The bill narrows the scope of the Financial Advisors Act to apply only to persons who provide financial advisor services in the ordinary course of business and to persons who provide advice in the course of another financial service. It excludes financial advice that is provided incidentally to other services. This focuses on the regime of those persons generally understood to be financial advisors. Furthermore, the scope of the definition of financial advice has been clarified. Therefore, advice on the procedure for acquiring and disposing of financial products will not be caught. Similarly, broad statements about classes of products such as KiwiSaver as a good product will be outside the regime. Another key clarification has been to the definition of financial planning services, now termed investment planning services. The amendment to this definition proposed by the Select Committee clarifies that this term is focused on investment planning. It also clarifies that advisors who work only with Category 2 products, such as mortgage or insurance products, or who work for a qualifying financial entity and sell that entity's products, can deliver a professional level of service and can comply with the regime without needing to be authorised. However, such advisors will still be able to voluntarily become authorised financial advisors. Both the Financial Advisors Act and the Financial Service Providers Act have also been made more flexible by adding a number of regulation-making powers. The Securities Commission can now provide limited exemptions from financial advisor obligations. However, I do not expect the Commission to consider exemptions for every individual advisor who does not consider him or herself to be the true target of the regime. I expect the Commission to focus on exemptions for classes of person for whom the cost of compliance with certain obligations would be unreasonable or unjustified. These new flexibility mechanisms are important to ensure that the regime can adapt with the market and will impose obligations that are proportionate to the risk created by different services. Another group of amendments relate to the regime's application to wholesale services, where customers either have the necessary sophistication in financial matters or sufficient bargaining power to look after their own interests. The challenge is to ensure a balance between minimising unnecessary regulation for those dealing with wholesale customers and preventing mum and dad investors from falling into the wholesale category by accident or through manipulation by unscrupulous advisors. The Bill's proposal to combine a number of wholesale client categories with a self-certification opt-out provision with appropriate protections against misuse delivers what I believe is the right required balance. Financial advisors who deal exclusively with wholesale customers will now be exempt from the obligations to be individually authorised, to make disclosure, to belong to an approved dispute resolution scheme and to adhere to the Code of Professional Conduct for authorised financial advisors. However, the obligation to act with due care, skill, diligence will apply to all financial advisors. There are a number of other amendments designed to reduce compliance for business, including clarifying that entities can provide any financial advisor service to their clients through their employees, provided these employees are appropriately regulated. Also, allowing entities to provide generic advice that is not tailored to a specific person's needs, and enabling businesses that operate as groups of companies to make use of the qualifying financial entity, the QFE model, efficiently. These changes to simplify compliance for wholesale products are to allow entities to operate more effectively, clearly focusing the regime on personalised services provided to retail clients. Correspondingly, the role of the Securities Commission is now focused on supervising people providing their service in order to ensure that the Securities Commission has the tools it needs to perform its supervisory functions with regards to personalised retail services. The bill also includes a number of new powers. For example, the Financial Advisors Act can be enforced against persons who committed offences while authorised but who cancelled their authorisation before enforcement action could be taken. The Commission can also impose temporary banning orders on people acting inappropriately and can apply to the courts for these bans to be extended up to 10 years. The Commission also has a reserve power to declare that a product of any QFE must only be sold through individually authorised financial advisors. This will not require the Commission to vet every product of a QFE sells, but rather it will allow the Commission to step in under exceptional circumstances. This is an appropriate approach, as entities will need to demonstrate their capacity to comply with the regime before being granted QFE status. I consider that this provides certainty to QFEs as to their ongoing obligations, while at the same time enabling the Commission to act when required. The extended supervisory and enforcement powers of the Commission will help ensure that the regime is complied with effectively to enhance overall investor confidence. I know that the industry shares this goal with me, and once this bill is passed, I expect businesses to engage constructively with the Commission to help achieve our mutual objectives. Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Call Charles Chauvel.